stuck in my fingernails and I'm going to hurt somebody.
The internet's gonna kill us for that one.
There's little pumpkin pieces all over my hands. Bad daddy.
I love when it does that.
In the neon-lit world of emo YouTube stardom, there's always been a thin line between edgy charm and embarrassing cringe. And Johnnie Guilbert has spent his entire online career awkwardly wobbling across it. From his rise as a key figure in the emo scene, complete with all the messy hair, heavy eyeliner, and angry lyrics that drew millions of devoted fans, Johnnie quickly turned from beloved emo heartthrob into a cautionary tale of internet celebrity gone wrong. His relationships alone have provided endless material for scandal and ridicule. There was the unsettling dynamic with his ex-girlfriend Alex, where he admittedly weaponized his mental health struggles to keep her from leaving him, something he's publicly admitted and regretted but continues to haunt him to this day. Then, of course, there was the incredibly uncomfortable and controversial relationship with Grace, an actress known from Stranger Things, whose dynamic with Johnnie managed to make even his diehard fans squirm uncomfortably.
Toodles my poodles. If you're not nice to Grace,
I have a question.
I'll block you instantly, yeah.
What's Thug Pug?
Oh god. As I said, I've been on the internet really long. I used to call my viewers Thug Pugs sometimes. Yeah, I used to say, that was my outro. It was like, peace out, Thug Pugs.
Wow. Peace out, Thug Pugs. Johnny, blink twice if you're in danger. Oh, he has something in his eye. It's okay.
Those look good.
Why?
Oh, you got a little... Yeah, this happens. It's okay. That's fine.
But perhaps nothing captures Johnnie's chaotic energy quite as vividly as the infamous kiss with his best friend Jake Weber, another emo star just as problematic and popular as Johnnie himself. The kiss wasn't just inappropriate, it happened at a birthday party for Jake's girlfriend at the time, Tara, who was also their mutual friend and collaborator. The sheer audacity and lack of boundaries were staggering, leaving even their loyal followers stunned.
You want to see something gay? What? You want to see something gay? Yes. Good, Johnny. Yo, Mondo's here. What the f***? How are you? Good. We love it. We love it. We love it.
Quit crying. You're giving me a bag of.
Is this like, are you saying you're gay? I'm confused.
You want me to hold it and take a photo with the dick? If I want to hold it, you wouldn't judge me.
What did I say about getting my ass in department stores?
Harder and faster.
Johnny, can you come rub my belly?
I want to pull down the Burger King's drawers and suck him off for how good this burger is. I want to thank him personally with my lips around it.
Everything you have to say about.
I like what I like.
And you impress me every day, dude.
I know.
People say I look like a bottom. I don't even see it.
Like, look at me. I love being a slut.
What? He doesn't want to do anything. He wants to stand there and look pretty.
You got that lot.
All these scandals paint a clear picture. Johnnie isn't just another emo star who occasionally crosses the line. He's practically made a career out of it. So who is Johnnie? And how exactly did he end up becoming the internet's favorite punching bag? Johnnie Guilbert isn't just another emo YouTuber. He's practically a genre unto himself. With an impressive 3 million subscribers and massive followings across social media, he's undeniably influential. Born in San Jose, California, Johnnie's life wasn't exactly sunshine and rainbows from the start. His father tragically passed away when he was only 13, and ever since, he's been vocal about his struggles with mental health. But in 2013, Johnnie decided to channel that angst into something productive and launched his YouTube channel. His career exploded when he joined My Digital Escape, easily the most popular emo collab at the time. If you've ever stumbled across their content, you already know. Over-the-top emo skits, ridiculously dramatic challenges, and enough eyeliner to single-handedly sustain Hot Topic. It was clickbait, cringy, and definitely cocky, but somehow it resonated deeply. The group wasn't just exploring the algorithm, they were openly trauma-dumping in their collabs, turning their emotional turmoil into viral content, and cultivating a fiercely devoted fan base. Then, predictably, it all came crashing down. Brian Stars, the guy behind the curtain, got exposed in a scandal that wasn't just typical YouTube drama, it was genuinely disturbing. Members of the group began airing out Brian's manipulative behaviors, favoritism, gaslighting, exploitation, the full toxic package. But even worse, Brian was exposed for having connections to an actual predator. Suddenly, the drama wasn't just petty online gossip, it turned dark and serious. As my digital escape imploded, Johnny somehow managed to keep his career afloat, maintaining his relevance and dedicated fans. For a while, he stayed relatively scandal-free until a tweet changed everything. When Carrington, Johnny's close friend and frequent collaborator, someone he's lived with and still regularly makes music and videos with, innocently asked Twitter, "Can someone please make me a banner for my YouTube channel? I don't know how to make it." Johnny responded in the worst way imaginable, sparking outrage and controversy yet again. He sent him a reply with a drawing that had a Nazi symbol on it. People online completely lost it, and honestly, who could blame them? Seeing someone as admired as Johnnie Guilbert casually posting something so insensitive and blatantly offensive made it even harder to swallow. But the situation got even messier once people realized something crucial. Carrington, Johnny's close friend, collaborator, and the person he was supposedly joking with is actually Jewish. That detail instantly amplified how disturbing the tweet was.
I'm back in New York and I'm about to eat this bagel, and I'm already Jewish, so I already really like bagels more than a regular person, but I got this smoked salmon bagel last time and it knocked my socks off, so let's see if it's as good as I remember. Oh, not skimping on the lox, not mad about it, actually pretty happy about it, to keep it honest. Here we go. It's so good.
As soon as the backlash started rolling in, Carrington quickly noticed the tweet and told Johnny to delete it immediately. Johnny complied right away and issued an apology, acknowledging his mistake. I saw Carrington's tweet and looked up "bad header" on Google to reply with a poorly made header, thinking it would be funny. Unfortunately, I didn't check the image before posting and only realized afterward that it contained an inappropriate symbol. My sincere apologies to everyone. I never intended to share something like that. It was poor judgment on my part, and I'll be more cautious moving forward. I'm truly embarrassed and upset with myself for not being careful enough. To be fair, it genuinely does seem like an honest mistake, albeit a careless one. However, given Johnny's massive platform, people rightly pointed out that he needed to be far more cautious about his online actions. The criticism didn't fade away quickly. It intensified, forcing Johnny to further address the situation in a live stream, visibly uncomfortable and regretful.
I found it on Google. I didn't notice the symbol. I apologized instantly. My roommate messaged me about it. I was not online, and I felt like a complete idiot for not looking ahead of time. And I addressed it, and I said, I'm sorry for not thinking logically ahead of time and looking at the image that I sent. And that's it. There's really not much more I can fucking do. That's all I can fucking do is say, yeah, that was a fucking stupid image for me to send. I was not aware, and I'm sorry. I don't know what else you want from me. If you can tell me what you want from me, maybe I can do it, but I really don't know what else I can do. I did not make the image. I just didn't fucking see it.
But just when everyone thought things couldn't possibly get any worse, Johnny's personal life decided to prove them wrong. Enter Grace, an actress recognized from Stranger Things. Their relationship wasn't simply chaotic behind closed doors. It was openly messy and uncomfortable to watch unfold publicly.
But it just depends what kind of style
I got
you
kicked
like.
out of the date. I said, well, I don't think we need a couple.
Bad daddy. Is there little pumpkin pieces all over my hands?
I suck at this. Baby, don't look at it.
Johnny announced his relationship with Grace in September 2024, sparking immediate suspicion because he'd only recently been linked to the famous TikToker Bella Porch.
Cut this.
No,
but-
you can leave it. I don't care.
Okay. The internet says that you were dating a pretty famous TikToker, right?
Oh, yeah.
The nervous neck.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, if you want, we can talk because we've talked off camera about it. But
Well, no, I was there at the party.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grace herself had also just ended a relationship barely a month prior, fueling logical speculation about potential infidelity. While there's no definitive proof of cheating, the timeline certainly made it easy for the internet to connect the dots. Despite backlash and suspicions, Johnny and Grace dove headfirst into creating content together, frequently appearing on each other's Twitch streams and posting videos almost immediately after announcing their relationship. To say this gave fans an off-putting vibe would be an understatement. It felt forced, awkward, and way too soon. Posting videos together as a couple isn't inherently weird, but the timing here raised more than a few eyebrows. Barely a few weeks after announcing their relationship, already suspiciously close to their breakups, they jumped right into making content together. It was almost too casual, like they didn't even care about the optics. Fans couldn't help but feel a bit played. Usually new couples take their time. They keep things chill, subtle at first, but not Johnnie and Grace. They went full throttle, flaunting their fresh romance online as if daring everyone to question their timeline. Watching them stream and post cozy, overly comfortable videos felt strangely off-putting. It wasn't just the suspicious overlap. It was the arrogance, the boldness of acting like everything was totally normal. But just when you thought the situation couldn't escalate further, Johnnie took things up a notch by tattooing Grace's name directly onto his hand. Now, tattoos dedicated to significant others aren't exactly groundbreaking, but in Johnnie's context, this was definitely bold, and not necessarily in a good way. To be fair, maybe Johnnie genuinely believed he'd found the one in Grace. Maybe after all the online drama and questionable decisions, this was his earnest attempt at commitment and stability. It's not uncommon for people, especially someone who's struggled openly with mental health, to jump headfirst into a new relationship, hoping it'll fix whatever's broken inside them.
I have a tattoo with my girlfriend's name. Big whoopsie-doo. Oh my god, is it too soon? Oh my god, I'm 27, I can do whatever I want. People are stupid. I can do whatever I want. I wanted to do it, so I did it. Want to see the tattoo? I gotta get more on this fucking arm.
Still, fans couldn't help but cringe at the decision. Given the rocky start, the timing of their relationship, and the controversy already surrounding them, permanently marking his body felt less like romance and more like a desperate stunt. It was as if Johnnie wanted to silence all doubts by showing just how serious he was. And sure, loyalty is admirable, but permanence, especially when everything around you feels unstable, is risky territory. In his defense, maybe Johnnie wasn't thinking about public perception at all. Maybe this tattoo was personal, meaningful, a gesture aimed at Grace rather than his audience. But the internet never forgets, and if things ever went south, he'd be left with more than just regret. He'd have a permanent reminder of a decision made in haste. As if this wasn't enough controversy, Johnnie and Grace's relationship managed to ignite even greater backlash when their involvement in age play came to light, a revelation that stirred intense and polarized reactions online. For those unfamiliar with these concepts, it's crucial to clarify from the outset that there's a significant and often misunderstood distinction between age regression and age play. Age regression is a psychological phenomenon typically employed as a coping mechanism, where individuals involuntarily revert to a younger mental state, usually as a way to handle stress, trauma, or anxiety. It's therapeutic, entirely non-sexual, and anyone genuinely experiencing age regression sees themselves mentally as an actual child, rendering involvement during these episodes deeply inappropriate and exploitative. In sharp contrast, age play refers explicitly to a consensual, deliberate role-play activity between adults. It can be playful, intimate, and at times sexually charged, but it always remains within the clear boundaries set by consenting adults involved. Here's where things got messy for Johnnie and Grace. What they were showcasing on their videos seemed undeniably like age play. Grace would often behave overtly childlike, speaking in exaggerated baby voices, wearing childish clothing, pacifiers, and diapers, and acting out scenarios that many viewers found deeply unsettling. Johnnie, for his part, played along, taking the role of the caretaker or partner to Grace's infantile character. Predictably, the internet erupted in uproar. One vocal segment argued passionately that this behavior was beyond disturbing. It was disgusting, morally reprehensible, and both individuals deserved immediate cancellation from public platforms. To them, the visuals alone, watching adults emulate infant behavior, triggered immediate discomfort and disgust. This viewpoint quickly gained traction online, creating a harsh environment that vilified both Grace and Johnnie. However, another sizable segment of the audience took a more nuanced and arguably rational stance. Yes, it was undeniably cringeworthy, bordering on deeply uncomfortable viewing, but discomfort, they argued, does not equate to immorality or danger. From a logical perspective, these two were consenting adults openly participating in a roleplay scenario that, while clearly uncomfortable for viewers, was mentally harmless as long as consent was continually maintained. The confusion, however, intensified as many viewers mistakenly conflated age play with age regression. This confusion heightened tension significantly, leading to accusations that Johnnie and Grace were engaging in highly inappropriate activities, further fueling outrage. Critics failed to distinguish that Grace was consciously and consensually participating in adult roleplay rather than involuntarily experiencing genuine age regression, thus causing a massive wave of misunderstandings and misguided anger. But even from a rational, tolerant perspective, certain moments in their interactions did raise valid questions. There were several occasions clearly captured on camera where Johnnie himself appeared visibly uncomfortable, subtly signaling or outright asking Grace to tone down her childlike behavior. These instances were particularly telling or troubling because they suggested possible lapses in the communication or boundaries that should always accompany roleplay scenarios. Even supporters of personal freedom couldn't ignore these unsettling moments because roleplay, however harmless or consensual it may be, demands constant awareness, mutual respect, and continuous consent from both parties. It's also critical to recognize the broader context of why viewers reacted so vehemently. Johnnie, with his significant influence and massive following, holds a certain responsibility. Publicizing behavior that's deliberately provocative or confusing inevitably invites criticism. It seems evident that Johnnie and Grace underestimated, or perhaps deliberately ignored, the likely backlash from such provocative content. Ultimately, the rational stance remains clear. Consenting adults can engage in activities of their choosing, regardless of societal discomfort, provided no harm occurs. Yet Johnnie and Grace, through their lack of clarity and occasionally uncomfortable interactions, allowed a scenario where public misunderstanding and confusion could easily flourish. This entire situation brings forth another uncomfortable observation. This wasn't Johnnie's first experience with such dynamics. His former girlfriend also notoriously participated in similar age play content publicly, indicating a possible recurring theme or preference in Johnnie's romantic engagements, whether consciously or subconsciously. This repetition raises eyebrows, suggesting deeper patterns in his relationships and content choices, and it's exactly what we'll dive into next.
Got put on skirt.
Before Grace, before all the recent chaos, Johnnie's relationship history was already filled with questionable choices and messy moments. Let's rewind for a second to when it all began, with his relationship with Alex. The two actually met even before they became internet-famous collaborators. Back in 2013, even prior to the start of the YouTube channel My Digital Escape, Johnnie and Alex were already together. They soon became one of the central couples in MDE, capturing fan attention and building their brand around emotional openness and vulnerability online. But beneath their carefully curated public image, their relationship was deeply troubling. Johnnie was open about his mental health struggles from day one, which is genuinely commendable given the stigma around mental illness. However, there's a crucial line between vulnerability and manipulation, and Johnnie himself admitted he had crossed it multiple times. Rather than genuinely seeking therapy or professional help, Johnnie confessed he often used threats of self-harm to prevent Alex from leaving him. This revelation hit his fanbase like a ton of bricks. While mental illness should never be minimized or mocked, weaponizing it to control someone else is never acceptable. It painted a darker image of Johnnie, suggesting he wasn't just suffering internally, but inflicting emotional pain externally. Eventually, the relationship collapsed, and predictably, it wasn't a clean break. Instead, it spiraled into more messy public drama. Shortly after their breakup, Johnnie posted cryptic, angst-filled song lyrics on his Instagram story. Notably, the thought of you touching him, the thought of him touching you. Of course, fans instantly speculated about infidelity, assuming Alex had cheated on Johnnie and that this betrayal was the reason behind their messy breakup. But as usual, reality was a bit different. It later surfaced that Alex had ended the relationship largely due to Johnnie's mental health struggles. While leaving someone because they're struggling mentally might seem harsh, relationships burdened with untreated mental illness can indeed become unbearable. It's a sensitive topic, and honestly, most outsiders aren't qualified to judge either side definitively. Still, that didn't stop social media from doing exactly that. Years later, this past relationship came back to haunt Johnnie once again, when a TikTok user brought it up, warning Grace to run away from Johnny. In response, Johnny himself commented directly under the post saying, "Why do you follow me? Please get help. Also, no, I am not and never have been I've been depressed and during a relationship, which I know isn't okay. I was also much younger. Please let me grow and please leave my relationship alone. This weirdo stuff." To be fair, it genuinely isn't right to eternally judge someone for mistakes they made over 6 years ago. People grow, evolve, and hopefully change. But here's the thing about the internet. It never forgets, especially if you've publicly posted your personal life for millions to consume and dissect. Johnny clearly hasn't learned from his past mistakes. If he had, perhaps he wouldn't still be flaunting uncomfortable relationship dynamics all over social media. Instead, Johnny dove right back into the same patterns of posting cringeworthy, overly intimate content with his current girlfriend, Grace. Content that's not only awkward, but downright disturbing. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Grace casually decided to call Johnny Daddy on a public live stream, creating yet another uncomfortable, cringeworthy moment for everyone wasting his time watching their creepy streams.
Getting stuck in my fingernails and I'm going to hurt somebody.
The internet's gonna kill us for that one.
There's little pumpkin pieces all over my hands. Bad daddy.
Okay, let's talk about that moment. Grace calling Johnny Daddy live on stream might just be the most uncomfortable few seconds we've had to collectively witness from these two ever. Look, let's be clear. Calling your partner pet names is normal, even cute, when done privately. If Grace enjoys calling Johnny Daddy, honestly, that's totally their business. But here's the thing. Once you choose to broadcast your relationship live to thousands of viewers, you've got to be more cautious. Grace at that moment obviously wasn't thinking clearly about how that nickname would land with the audience. The second the words slipped out, you could literally see the instant wave of regret wash over her face. Honestly, she looked embarrassed enough for both herself and the entire audience combined. It was peak cringe, there's no denying that. The clip exploded online, of course it did. Moments like these are practically tailor-made for virality, forcing them both into damage control mode. Grace eventually responded to the backlash, offering a surprisingly plausible explanation. She claimed she was talking to their dogs and referring to Johnny as their pet daddy. Admittedly, this explanation makes sense. Plenty of pet owners jokingly call each other mom or dad to their pets. But even with this context, the moment was awkward enough that people weren't quick to accept it at face value.
You were talking to the dog when you called Johnny Daddy, right? Bad daddy. I actually was talking to Johnny when I talked to him in regards to the pets. Like, he's like their daddy because they're babies. Mercy's a baby. She's like 3 months old and Pluto's 2 years old. So I'm
It was a funny clip.
like, you love your daddy, right? I don't know. I feel like everyone does that.
I don't think it's that deep.
It's not that deep. I just did want to clear the air because
That clip popped off. And I said no one was going to record it.
To be fair, the explanation sounds logical enough, almost believable. But here's the real takeaway. When your every move is under a microscope, even silly, innocent mistakes will be scrutinized endlessly. Grace and Johnny aren't rookies at social media. They should have known better. Whether it was an honest slip or not, the damage was done. And the internet never misses an opportunity to pounce. Maybe the real lesson here isn't about pet names or private jokes. It's about recognizing that not every intimate detail needs to be broadcasted live. Clearly, Johnny and Grace haven't quite figured that out yet. But beyond all the awkward live streams and weird videos, there's something even more off about their relationship. Something that a lot of people have picked up on. More and more fans have started saying that Grace might actually be manipulating Johnny. And honestly, when you look at how she treats him sometimes, they might have a point. One moment that really stuck with people happened during one of Grace's live streams. Johnny popped in, probably just trying to be chill and support her, but out of nowhere, she called him a bitch. Like, not in a flirty or playful way, just flat out disrespectful. It came out so casually, too. Like she didn't even think twice about it. That's the part that makes it worse. It didn't feel like a joke. It felt like something she meant and that she was used to saying. And this isn't just a one-time thing. In so many of their weird videos together, Grace is being super extra, doing creepy baby voices or acting totally over the top, while Johnny just sits there looking like he wants to disappear. You can literally see it in his face. He's uncomfortable, barely engaged, not into it at all.
This happens.
I look like a ghost.
This for baby.
But he still goes along with it, and that's what makes people think there's more going on here than just cringe content. It looks like he's doing it because she wants him to, not because he actually wants to be there. People online aren't holding back either. A bunch of threads and comment sections are filled with stuff like, she literally treats him like absolute. She doesn't respect him and doesn't even try to hide it. She only uses him as a source of validation and attention. And he lets her because he is insecure and desperate for a relationship. It's sad. And honestly, that's not even an exaggeration. There's something sad about it. Johnny's always been open about his mental health and low self-esteem, and maybe that's why he puts up with it. Maybe he's scared of being alone. Or maybe he just thinks this is normal. But it's hard to watch. At the same time, he's not a kid. He's an adult. And if he keeps putting himself in these situations, people are going to question his judgment too. Still, it's obvious that something's off here. But Grace isn't the only complicated relationship in Johnny's life. And if you thought things couldn't get any messier, buckle up. Enter Jake Weber, another emo YouTuber who's equally controversial and, to be honest, just as messy as Johnny. These two go way back, like a full decade of hanging out, making content together, and even sharing living spaces. They're best friends, no doubt, but something about their vibe always felt just a little bit off. And look, this isn't just some random gossip. There's literal proof to back this up. Johnny actually kissed Jake Weber, openly, blatantly, and fully captured on camera. Jake even casually mentioned it was their first time kissing on camera, strongly implying this wasn't a one-off event and that they might have been getting cozy behind the scenes for who knows how long.
You want to see something gay? What? You want to see something gay? Yes. Good, Johnny. Yo, Mondo's here. What the f***? How are you? Good.
We love it. We love it. We love it.
Everyone, go take a shot. You want me and Johnny to kiss again?
What's that?
That was the first time we did it on camera.
Yeah. Really?
Usually we do a lot more. Yeah, usually we do a lot more.
Honestly, watching this clip makes you wonder just how blurred the lines between friendship and something more might be for these two. But the real kicker? They chose to kiss at Tara's birthday party. Yeah, Tara, as in their mutual friend, frequent collaborator, and oh yeah, Jake's literal girlfriend at the time. I mean, seriously, how disrespectful can you get? Doing something like that at your girlfriend's own birthday is just straight up wrong. And considering both Johnny and Jake had girlfriends during this casual yet completely inappropriate moment, it just makes the whole thing even more sketchy. The fact is, Johnny and Jake have always had a weird dynamic. On one hand, they're genuinely best friends who've been through a ton together. They're still making content even today. They were roommates and clearly they vibe pretty well. But at the same time, pulling stunts like kissing publicly, especially given their circumstances, just raises so many questions.
Married to Johnny. If there was a man that I would marry, it would be Johnny.
How do you feel about that, Johnny?
It's not helping with the rumors.
I think the kiss you guys shared on my birthday isn't helping with the rumors.
Yeah, I just hate that he didn't give me enough tongue.
But I'm confused. Do you like kiss all the time?
No. Only twice. Probably gonna be a third time someday though.
Yeah, it just like...
It was a New Year's kiss as well.
You're the one tweeting about, oh, we kissed on New Year's. Someone asked me to kiss you on New Year's, so.
Was it this New Year's?
I got a kiss, but...
He got a kiss, but he really wanted to kiss me that day.
I must say, that kiss was a lot better. I must say, his lips were very soft.
You asked to kiss me and you said my lips were really soft.
They were.
That's crazy. That's honestly the best compliment I've ever got.
We have kissed.
Actually, in fact, we kissed once.
Yeah, and we've kissed a couple of times.
Actually, he kissed me.
He's like, we just kiss for fun. We don't film it. I was like, I love that.
That was him.
Whose idea was it to kiss?
Oh, that was Jake's.
It's always mine. Okay, I guess it's just always me. I can't help that his lips are plump.
Can I give you a kiss? Kiss me. Ew.
Dude, we've almost kissed like 5 times.
Damn it, why do we keep on doing this, dude? It's like our mouths have magnets in them or something. It's not our fault. I don't know what the f*** is going on.
Is it just trolling the internet for reactions? Are they really just friends messing around, or is there genuinely something deeper between them? Whatever it is, the boundaries here are clearly blurred. Honestly, at this point, you can't help but wonder if Johnny's relationships, romantic or otherwise, are all this chaotic by default, or if he genuinely doesn't see the issue with crossing the line repeatedly. Either way, it's another clear example of him playing with fire publicly and acting surprised when the internet blows up about it.